But really our options would be pretty limited. Andesite might look a little bit better. Helps fill it in a little bit. Am I having more stream issues? Appreciate the feedback, but make sure if you can give it in context, that would be great. I don't know. Stream has dropped again. You're on a fresh VOD. That is really annoying. That's the second time in the last couple of days that that's happened. Does anybody know where I can see where that like feedback as to what might have happened? I'm not seeing even any dropped frames. Maybe logs. My streaming this is the thing. My streaming software didn't change. Nothing's changed on my end. I didn't even get an indication that I've stopped streaming, right? Twitch Inspector is what EladJenkins is saying. Does that happen after? Yeah, it's a 56 minute VOD. That's really annoying. Because they're too long to combine in Premiere Pro and then upload to YouTube. I don't see a Twitch Inspector anywhere. Helpful scaffolding. Thank you so much. Just don't know about that coming down to that area there, so I think maybe we'll make these slabs just so it doesn't touch that corner. We could do the same thing here. I think... Oh, that touches there. This might be better off going this way, and then... I'm not a fan of that. Break time when you're ready. Thanks, Cosmic. I'll wait a little bit just because the VOD just reset. Yeah, pressing shift on scaffolding is annoying. Yeah, I don't know what to do there. This might be best just left as a slab. Hmm. Well, that doesn't work. Maybe we just leave it like that. I think the slab looks better. So we'll make it symmetrical. So that connects that way, and then on the other side, it just wraps around, connects. So this one we might actually want to see what this looks like if we switch this over. Oh, this comes back up. Oh, right. That should be lower. And then we can do maybe like a steady incline. Maybe this is a good spot to use a pressure plate. Just to kind of get that in between. Yeah, maybe. We could also just go straight to the polished if we want to use polished on the main hull. That might be the way to do it too. Grab that stuff. Get this out of the way. We're gradually losing scaffolding. Can't really see much. Well, folks, probably a decent time for me to take a break. So I'll step away here. I guess I should not sleep so I can be on break at nighttime. I take a break once an hour. You should too. Yeah, grab a snack, grab a stretch. We'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. Maybe even bring in a friend. We're always trying to grow the channel. So we'll see you in just a bit. Alright, looks like we have a spawning problem. Don't know where he came from. Probably up here somewhere. There's more? I can hear another one. Weird. Strange thing to come back to. They heard about the Dungeons Distillery and they wanted to come check it out? Yeah, maybe. It sure rains a lot here on the server. I hope that's something that they can change. I might actually see if that's another data pack I might look for, is something that allows you to control the frequency of the weather. Like if you could say, hey, don't make it regular intervals, but like, could we extend, you know, or limit the amount of time it rains to, you know, once every hour instead of what feels like a lot more often. I think I like these better as maybe smooth. A little bit more interesting. So the question I was, I guess, asking before we went on break was, should I change these to the polished andesite? There, and there. I do like this little walkway. It's nice. Well, while it's raining, I'm going to pop over and see if we can do the same thing over here and how that might affect what we might want to do on this part here. Because I think this will change the way that we look at the kitchen roof. And just out of curiosity, I wonder where this pops us out. So we'd have to have some sort of, that's a stair, at least a slab. So this is just mirroring what we did on the other side. Oh, that's wrong. And that goes to there. And this would have to switch. Oh, this path doesn't matter, I guess, so much. Here we'd have to do something more interesting. So maybe here we'd have to do like a stone step somehow. A little bit low, but still not the end of the world. Interesting. I might want to change that a little bit. Might be better off if it's all one layer. I just have to figure out where the cutoff is for our heads here. Yeah, that can't really come out any farther, can it? Well, I guess it can if it's higher. Oh no, not even that. The lighting on that trapdoor is very strange. That was an upside down stair, I think. Yeah, we'd have to go upside down stair, and then we'd flip it and do stair there. Again, feels very weird. That works though. Just barely. Looks a little strange. Do. Just did weather clear on my server. Maybe I pushed the rain over to yours. Yeah, it's possible. Sounds like the kind of luck I'm having. Cool, thanks, Cosmic. Appreciate it. Okay. So we'll remove this part, but hopefully this will look okay. That weird connection that I have to think about. Actually, I should check the other side. I want to make sure I've got this right. Maybe we have to, I feel like these were lined up with those. I could be wrong. No, they were lined up in the gaps. Okay. Would that change anything over here? That would help us there. But it wouldn't really help us over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it is an odd number. Okay. Yeah, we just have to figure out what we're doing there. Can't remember what I did on this side. Oh, I just squared it up. Something is not right there. From there, I went into a solid block. Oh, that's out farther on the other side. That's why. I think here we could probably get away with just a straight up stair in there. Be my guess. Yeah. I may actually remove the slab to kind of get a steady transition from one height to the next. All right, well, if we're going to do that, I think this is where this is probably going to change. And I'm wondering if we have to go so far as to get like underneath this and start from there. So I think despite my earlier concerns about having a gable here, I think we can do it in a way that would make sense. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll just do the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here. And this will allow us to play with something a little bit more interesting, I think. Where are we there? That is going to be a stair, I think. Oh, no, wait a minute. Let's get some extra height in here. See what that looks like. It's a little bit like a barn. So I'll lower that one maybe. That should do it. Because I don't think I want it any taller. Because if it gets too tall, it's going to block the chimney. Although, I guess we could go a little bit taller. Well, if we go too much taller, then it'll block the whole what's the word I'm looking for? Not view, but like the function of having that extra spot. Yeah, I think I want to avoid getting any taller than that. Although really it's not going to matter too much. And what would happen if that was a block taller? Anybody else wish that you could actually hold shift on stairs and slabs? Like, why can't we? What game function does it serve? So that would completely block your view of just about everything from up here. Not that that view really matters. The view from the master tower might matter, though. Yeah, I think that lower one is probably better. Yep. Okay. So we'll remove this stuff and we'll drop that down. I feel like that should work. There was a different roof shape that I did over here I liked. Oh no, I redid it. Right, okay. These are all pretty steep. Well, there's a slightly different one there. Using back-to-back stairs. Try that on the other side. Dear Mojang, yep. That almost sounds like a good segment on the spawn chunks. I mean, I know that we don't want to get into like constantly complaining about the game, but it will be a fun little like every once in a while, you know. Dear Mojang, could you please? This is going to change. So, over on this side, we can change this to a different material now too. So we can do a little bit of this. So one of these is going to be the profile on the roof. Yee, I kind of like the one on the right. So here I'm tempted to throw in, see, this is going to be connected here. I wonder if it would be worth just kind of exaggerating a little bit of this kind of thing. It does still feel a little bit lopsided, but we could maybe add a window or something in here to help with that. Not sure why there would be a window that would not need to be that deep. Guess we could knock this back. I'm okay with that. I think maybe having, you know, oh, those are inside. Having a little nook here would be good. Where did you come from? You had a flame bow. Wow. I'm actually going to keep that. I was like, that's why I almost died. Yeah, I think that could work. Balances out the front of it a little bit. I'm really tempted to do that kind of a design. Feels a little heavy on the trapdoors. It's the only thing. Surprise skeleton. Yeah, definitely. So it's a small building. We can always switch this. We don't like it. And maybe this could end up being spruce stuff. That works there. And then this goes like that. And then this goes upside down. I think that's how I did the whole thing. Yeah. I think this doesn't need to have stairs there, I guess. Or not stairs, but like, this doesn't have to be a trapdoor. And this could actually come in a little bit, because on the inside it won't really matter. Now here is where it gets a little bit tricky, in that we lose this space unless there's like another roof that connects to it, and that would have to start kind of like here, and then this would come down. Maybe we'd give it like a kind of a double overhang. Maybe we would just start with this section. Oh no, wait, that would make sense, because then this would be a wall. Oh, that's a lower slab. That's annoying. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do a stair here. It might look a little bit funny. It might look like it connects to that. And yeah, that doesn't... So we'd have to sacrifice, I think, this idea we have here. Unless it's just a hallway that happens. This would have to be a wall. But I guess that means we could leave like a little hallway here. Some sort of connection. This would reduce this height a bit. I could maybe come in through here. And then really all we'd have to do down here is just cover that up. Although this is not bad either. We'd have that there. So many little passageways now. I'm not sure what these would be, or how we would use them, or why they would be there. So maybe... Maybe we have to change the width of this so that instead of this slab there, it's the stair part that's up against the wall. Maybe the whole thing has to be moved over by a block. And that's fine. We can just pull that end down to make it look better. So I think, yeah, it would probably work better to have this come out and then you could enter in through here. And if this was closer, like here, then we could do like a little entrance here, no problem. Not to mention, we could, I guess at that point it would be probably better to come in through here. That might work out better. All right. What does that look like if I move that over? And then it goes trapdoor. And there's an upside down stair here. Yep. I mean, either way, the bottom is still not going to be centered, so not too worried about it. So that was up against... Yeah, that feels a little bit better, I think. I'll just adjust all this stuff. Is that the right? Yeah, that's right. This is the kind of difference that I notice, you know, when I'm playing both Satisfactory and Minecraft in the same, you know, kind of weekly schedule. This is where I really notice how hard it is to delete something in Minecraft and move it if you've got it off by a bit. Whereas in Satisfactory, it's a simple, really simple process. For folks that were watching Satisfactory yesterday, actually, I was able to log in afterwards and take about a half an hour and get myself back to where I was when we lost that hour of gameplay. So, not the end of the world. If anything, I noticed a couple things that I did incorrectly that I fixed anyway, so that was good. So here we might actually have to go down another stair. So we might have to go down here. So some of this might actually shift around. Which is good actually, because then it's a little bit more staggered, I think. And along here doesn't really matter. We can always just inch it up if we need to. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like the combo as well. The bone block and the dark oak. I'm keeping it. I'm just moving it. Realized I was saying like, oh yeah, I really like this, and then I'm tearing it down. like this. I love all this. West takes Westhill down block at a time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't imagine if there was a thing like where if I lost all the progress that we'd made on Westhill, I would just stop. I would just move. I would have to do something else. So here we might want to go just to cover that up for now. So that would be the roof shape, and then this would actually get cut down a little bit, but I think this is not visible from inside. Yeah. And then in here, we could switch this over to be full, rather than having all the trapdoors down the line. That. And this is where I was kind of worried about the logic of having water running up against your house here, but like, I don't think there's anything we can really do. And in real life, it would be angled just ever so slightly so that the water would drain that way, but like, it's Minecraft, you can't do that. Before I start filling this in, I should just double check to make sure it looks okay from the front here. I don't like this, but other than that, I think we're good. I think that works for me. This is a little bit weird. I'm not sure about that. Maybe we can come up with a better way to do it. I'm actually wondering whether it would be better to have spruce in there instead of the white. The white is a little bit distracting. Round time for another break. Sounds good, Cosmic. But I think that works. I don't think we really have to do anything about the moving the doors or the windows or anything. I think we can just double check how this feels going up here. That puts you right in the middle of everything, so that's good. It should have a door, so can't push that back any farther. So what about this? Is this... Right, that's a ceiling. So that has to go up to here. So I guess we're going to have to be careful here and have a door spot. So this is a weird little alley place that's going to have to be thought about. I guess we technically could have this twist around, but it's more likely that we're going to have an option here with this being a wall. So this is probably like the way that we'll say like maybe the servants' quarters or something. I mean low bridge. That was odd. I guess this would just continue through. This would stop at the chimney. And then I guess the next block would be up here. Don't know why I'd want to come in that way, but it might be worth actually having like a, instead of having this be blocked off, maybe this could be like a way down. Yeah, all of a sudden new function, right? Like that's, although that's odd. I wonder if maybe this has to be just a slab. Yeah, it's just not quite the right distance. It's a little annoying. I wish there was another way around that. All right, let's take that break. So for folks that are new to the channel, I do take a break once an hour. Gives me a chance to zap my coffee, heat it up a little bit. You should maybe grab a friend, grab a snack yourself, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Good time to refresh the stream too, in case you're having issues with Twitch, because you're not gonna miss anything. Just some background music. So I think I'm happy with the way that this is coming together. I guess we could also... No, that's not going to work. We'll go up this way. I was thinking maybe what we could do is push it back by a block. I mean, this is fine. It's not the end of the world. It's just weird that this is like kind of outside at the moment. I know I've got more of these somewhere. Thanks, Kel. Thanks, Cosmic. More of those. A lot of slabs. I don't think I need that many slabs. Why do I have a new recipe unlocked? I've never understood how our server host saves the player data. Like it always seems to reset even between like minor updates. It's why I don't go achievement hunting, because the progress is never saved, right? Achievement, advancement, I don't know, whatever. I don't usually like that style of gameplay anyway. So we've added another long, boring brown roof. We have to look at how we can fix that. That would have to stay open. There'd be a door probably about here. And would probably be putting like a little rain overhang there. Yeah, it just feels strange that there'd be this... I guess this would technically be inside. I guess it could just come down lower. Nope, that's the chimney. Never mind. Be a very warm hallway. That can't be there. I guess this just goes inside here. How do we get inside again? Right. Until this is all sorted, there's just so many different ways. Alright, that's what I wanted to do, was seal off this extra section right here. then maybe we don't need a wall right there. I guess at some point we need to change this roof to be broader. That makes any sense? And then somehow we have to connect these roofs as well. I don't want to lower that because I like that rain spout idea. Race Peruler? Welcome in. And I guess we could just connect these where they line up, right? I don't have any more trapdoors. And then this would probably just be something like that. That seems to make sense. Now we could change this up a little bit by having some windows in here, so there's definitely some opportunity to spice it up a little bit. Am I missing a door? I'm missing a door. This must be where something spawned. Although, I don't know what would have happened there, or how it would have spawned in there. Mazu Battlecaster, good to see you. Sorry, I feel like I'm missing a lot of chat today. Just kind of caught up in all the building. So many different doors now. This is why I wish we had colored doors. Something that actually looked cool in Minecraft. For like painted doors or something. Be nice. We might have to go with a solid block here. So I'd want a door here, and it would be, I guess, on this side. Yeah. I guess there's a spot where we could... Is this an outside wall? No, that's solid. There's nothing there. Okay, so maybe... What if... Cupcake 24. It's going good, I think. We're at this stage where we're renovating the quarters above the kitchen, and I'm just trying to connect it to the main stairs, but I'm wondering if I can run it this way and get a little bit higher faster. Oh, that's I don't remember what that was I just took out. Probably a regular stone, or probably a brick actually. Probably that. So I'm wondering if I could get up here and then up there. But technically, I guess we're in the chimney at that point. Oh no, that's the other tower. Because that gets us up square with a left or a right here. Although that affects this in a way that I don't want it to. Dang it. And it feels weird to be snaking all around, and then... I guess we could have a door there, right? That could make sense. Right? It feels a little bit better than having a hallway here. with this weird little step. Yeah, because then this feels very in the way. Like, it doesn't feel like you can really cross that corner. I do like this, I think. It's one of those things where you're going to have to sacrifice, you know, the way that this looks now. We'll have to do something else here. I mean, we could move the door out, I guess. That's not bad. Very tight. These are the kind of things that are really rewarding once you do actually sort it out. This feels like a really natural flow too, right? This feels a little bit low. And if I was to put the door on this side. Get rid of that. The only thing is that I wish that this was just going a little bit lower sooner. I guess we could go with like a slab here. Hunter 555 dropping the sub. 30 months. Oh yeah, that doesn't work. Why does that any different? Or I guess it's the same. 30 months for Hunter 555. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate the support, my friend. Honest question, do you see yourself building anything using cherry wood for anything? Keep in mind, if you say fuel, I will kick you. Yeah, sure. I mean, the blossoms for sure. I definitely want to use the blossoms. I think that we're just going to have to deal with how tight that is. Because I like this too much. I like this too much, and I think we can actually make this into a stone stair situation. You know what? We'll just leave that cobble. That goes like that. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Now this was never... I don't know whether that was an outside wall or not. I don't know why or when I started to need to use brick. So it's only brick on the corner there. This is all brick because of the fact that it's the chimney. So this doesn't need to be brick. Oh yes, it does. Okay, never mind. That needs to be brick. That's going to be brick. I'm going to change this to upside down brick. Let's do the same for all of these. Now I've lost something there, so I can do maybe a, oh, I can't do a slab there. What am I encroaching on there? That's the stairs going up that I don't like, I think. Yeah. Well, we don't need this anymore. If we've got this. Right. You go down, and then you go up. Now, why is this all brick? I wonder. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things in here that are just... They just are. I wonder if this is like the kitchen. Yeah, so that's the kitchen. Okay. So it's just going to look better if it's all consistent, probably. Until we get around the corner. Right. So that goes like that. I guess I don't need that to be so low. Now that we've removed that hallway thing, we can probably do slabs up here. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I don't really have any solid plans to build with cherry wood. But I haven't messed around with it, right? Like I need some playtime with it. I mean the color is something I'm sure I could use. You know, in like, you know, a pink color in like a sci-fi build, or I'm curious to see what I can use cherry wood for where it's not supposed to be wood, you know? Also, I imagine there's going to be some fun things we can do in the nether with cherry wood. All right, I'm happy with this little connection. I think that looks good. It's a much more natural flow. Pops you right out into the space here. Good. This is odd. But these, I think, are outside blocks. Oh, no, that's not. That is. So there's our final inside. Now we can do rafters and, you know, support blocks and things in here if we want to. It might be better to do something like spruce or stairs or something. Just kind of make this look kind of like supported in places. Want to maybe even do like slab or a trapdoor. And then that way we can still hang lanterns and stuff from up there, which would be great. Hopefully I have enough stairs to finish this off. I do not. Not even close. And that still leaves some open spots over here. And how are we going to connect to that? Okay. Oh, that's why that wasn't a problem, because the chimney's there. And one could argue that those maybe don't even have to be stairs. That's going to be wrong. And we've got more work to do here too. So now how do we get to there is the big question. Really interested to see what you would come up with a sci-fi build. I really want to see your artistic brain where your artistic brain takes that theme. Thanks. I think it might be fun to do some concept art like live on Twitch, either in Photoshop or something. I won't be streaming from my Mac because my Mac turns into a potato now whenever I even load up Photoshop, so I'm not exactly sure how to handle that. This I think we're going to close up. Because otherwise we just have to do some sort of weird hallway like that. So we could access this here. I feel like it would make more sense if we did it here, right? And I think it makes more sense to have access from the stairs than it does from the servants' quarters. And to keep that consistent, we'll probably just put like a stone slab ceiling in here. And then we can do like a typical door. Yeah, I'll decorate that later. That takes care of that. So that's on the next level up. So it's interesting, each level you've got like, there's a cool thing to explore up this way that takes you into these quarters or outside. And now that I have more of these, finish that. Okay. Yeah, I remember doing some concept art streams for the tree when I was building the tree in the realm of Aston. I enjoyed those streams. People seem to like them too. So we could put 1, 2, 3, 4. That's annoying. We have to put like a lantern or something in there. So we could cover that up with just decoration, or we could cover it up with trapdoors for now. And then this gets covered up like that. Now, it's a decent amount of space. You could definitely tuck in some beds here and there. I think I'm going to try and switch this over to spruce, though, to match the rest of the keep. And actually, this might be better off being like a cross support. Whoops. So what I'm looking at is, you know, what I've done in places like that. Long time listener to the Spawn Chunks says Newt Scamander. Episode 70. Holy crap. That's almost 200 episodes. Never really been able to catch your stream. Hope you've been having a good day thus far. Yeah, I think we're making some progress. It's raining cats and dogs on the server though. It's not the cheeriest of days. I wonder what these would look like if I switch them for dark oak. These bits here. Or maybe a slab. I think the slab... Maybe I just need to change the direction of the stair. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Trying to go with the theme of making things a little bit fancier here and there. Some extra stones. So I think the only thing I made a mistake with was the placement of that crossbeam. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher, just so that it doesn't have this conflict here. So we'll replace those. I'll move that, put that there, that goes back there, and that goes back there. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't remember if I've done anything fancy on the ends of the main roof. I know on these ones I brought them out a little bit on some of the halls. I don't think I've done that. It's just a little bit. Might be worth doing here as well. Raining cats and dogs. I'd laugh if cats and dogs just appeared over Westhill whenever it rained. Have you not heard that phrase? Certainly people have heard that phrase before. That's not just a Canadian thing, is it?